they thinking? What are they feeling? Is the answer so simple?
The emotional and the visceral reaction to those words, Central Park 5. Those 3 words, boom, a whole lot of emotions, thoughts, reactions, all immediately just come right to the surface. And I was aiming for that. That's what I wanted to have.
In 1989, a white woman jogging in Central Park was attacked, brutally raped, and beaten. The case was a sensation, and the public wanted justice. 5 black and Latino teenage boys were arrested and tricked into confessing. The media called them a wolf pack. All went to prison. But the first dance sequence in the opera 5 shows what really happened. A single person was the attacker. In 2002, a serial rapist admitted to the crime and his DNA matched. The Central Park 5 were released after spending 6 to 13 years each in prison.
I called Richard up and told him I wanted him to do a libretto on the Central Park 5. And I wanted it to be real, not accurate. And he said to me, after a few days, he said, well, it should represent all of the situations that have happened that are similar to the struggle and what happened to the Central Park 5 boys. I said, that's fine. But just know that the piece is going to be called 5. That's what I want it to be called because I want people to understand what has happened to these guys.
The opera 5 is symbolic and allegorical, but it's also factual, including even the real-life character of Donald Trump. Before the trial, Trump urged a return to the death penalty in New York, taking out full-page ads that helped inflame public opinion. The story of 5, the libretto, is by Richard Wesley, an award-winning playwright, a screenwriter for television and the movies, and now librettist for operas about the Black experience.
They are American stories, and there's a huge wealth of them.
Now I know who you are.
I think that Trilogy is adding to the kind of conversation that every opera company across the country can have.
I realize that I know all about European culture. I speak the languages, I speak fluent Russian, and I have knowledge of almost 11 languages, and 7 of them I handle pretty well. But I know if we are going to solve problems in the United States of America, we must know each other and know each other's culture. We must get involved and know about one another, and that makes the difference. And I think, you know, when we do this, it's the better for us all.
The composer, Anthony Davis, is a pioneer in the field of improvised music and jazz, a Guggenheim winner with 5 operas to his credit, including X, The Life and Times of Malcolm X.
One thing is I tried to draw on Harlem because all the kids were from Harlem. And Harlem means a lot of things to me musically, from everything from Duke Ellington to hip hop. And so in the scores kind of draws in that whole spectrum of the African musical tradition.
An opera like this is a big production, from the cast to the full orchestra, but there's one character who pulls it all together: the mask. It's played by Trilogy artistic director and Newark resident Kevin Maynor, a singer who's appeared everywhere from Carnegie Hall to China's Beijing Concert Hall.
Kevin is playing the mask. He's playing the character who becomes multiple people. He's the voice of Harlem. He's the voice of New York City. He's the voice of the prosecutor. He's the voice of the defense attorney.
The woman you are
It's a dominating character that's on stage just an incredible amount of time because he has to be all things to all people. So metaphorically, he's the world. What Kevin Maynor has now as artistic director of the Trilogy Opera Company is a repertoire that is not duplicated anywhere else in the world. They're written by some of the best young composers in the country.
And they're telling stories that aren't being told by other opera companies. In this case, about 5 teenage boys trapped in a situation that spun seriously out of control.
When the piece is over with, you're going to have to consider that these boys went to prison for a long period of time. Just was sort of a rush to judgment there, you know? And you're going to have to consider that. And that, to me, is what's important for people to know, that they suffered as a result of ignorance and a lack of compassion